Meeting Wednesday, the 24th September, Culture and Tourism and Communications. Do we have any apologies for absence?
Yeah, we have Councillor Martin O'Neill's apologised, Chair.
Okay. And Richard Jarvis is coming late. Right then, do we have, before we go any declarations of interest? And we just need to approve the minutes of the previous meeting. All those in favour? Ian's now going to give us an update on the actions that are outstanding, and there aren't many actually, are there?
No, there's only about 5, Chair. The first one, number 18, relates to a cheese and wine, which is actually an agenda item. Shall I deal with it now or under the agenda item?
Yeah, leave that to under the agenda
item.
Yeah.
Number 52 is a budget environment. This dates back to May with transfer of funds. I believe this has been completed, but I'll confirm that with Paul, the RFO, by email before the next meeting.
Okay.
We've got number 53 relates to Christmas lights, which again is an agenda item.
Yeah.
Number 9, so I'll leave that here agreeable.
Yeah.
There's 2 more. Number 54 relates to Claire contacting Swansea Council in relation to Mumbles Fest, the Castle grounds. And perhaps, again, number 10, Mumbles Fest is an agenda item, so we'll leave that for that, if you're agreeable, Chair.
Yeah. Yeah.
And lastly, it's number 55, which is a newsletter which Claire was in the process of preparing for publication in December.
And that's also on there.
And that's also an agenda item.
Yeah.
Just thank you.
Be noisy. Shut. See.
Diane's got to write them down a bit.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
The budget monitoring report, if you've all had a little look, just want to see if you all agree to approve that. Paul's obviously not here this week, but do we all approve the budget monitoring report?
I haven't received any queries. Right.
And the budget looking ahead for 2026-27. Moving on that. Okay. Right.
Sorry, Chair, just for the minutes, the in relation to budget 26-27, any budget reforms required to be submitted by the 31st of October?
They need to be in by the 31st of October.
Support.
We might have 1 or 2.
That's all.
Okay.
To mention.
Okay, thank you. Right, obviously the ideas and events for the hub, we can chat about that now, and anything that we come up with can only be a recommendation to MCC officers. It doesn't go to full council.
How's that?
That's what I got told.
It's the usual form of the way we govern is we make recommendations, they go to full council to be voted on.
Well, we can try them and
They don't usually go to our officers. Full council instruct the officers. The outcomes of those.
okay. Well, let's chat.
That's our standing orders.
Let's do that then. I was just told that maybe that couldn't be the case, but
Well, we've had no correspondence saying that's the case, or bypassing standing orders. And the hub is now part of MCC, so stream is like the Castle Field is with our events. So therefore, in my opinion, following standard orders, we make the recommendations to full council, and they approve them, not us. Maybe Richard, if I can just explain that to Richard, it says here ideas for the hub, recommendation to MCC officers. Our standing orders say that our recommendations go to full council, not to our officers. And we implement the ideas via our officers, not our officers.
yeah, only because I wasn't sure if at before that the ideas that we come up with, we can put them forward, but they go to the MCC officers who will then take it forward with the staff at the hub, as opposed to it being a full council decision.
I understand that, but I thought that was for stuff like the piano or toys and stuff like that. For events we want to put on, that's something.
Right, you might be right. difference, yeah, but the idea is going through the MCC offices and events then.
Yeah.
Perhaps goes
Chair,
through.
can I just read out the minutes from the full council meeting? Would that be useful?
Yes.
So this was management of ideas, suggestions for Underhill. To consider a structured process for recording and reviewing improving suggestions and ideas relating to facilities and operations at Underhill. The CEO, Kerry, and Chair Will Thomas outlined how best to progress suggestions in relation to Underhill Park. The consensus of the full council was that due to the number of potential suggestions and recommendations, there would be insufficient time to discuss such ideas at full council or even at committee level. It was agreed that this agenda item related only to the management and structure of progressing ideas, and that details of proposed suggestions should not be discussed. Resolved, that any ideas and suggestions in relation to Underhill be forwarded to a working group initially to consist of the Chief Officer, the newly appointed Booking Officer, and Natalie Williams of the Hub. Following an initial assessment of the ideas, these deemed to have reached the necessary standard will be forwarded to the Community and Social Development Committee for recommendations to be made. An appeal process will be created.
Not happy with that.
And that was what was approved at full council.
Yeah, I'm not happy with it at all. For first of all, we are the committee that put on events, not the social committee, to be honest. And now we have the hub under the council. It's up for this committee to culture, tourism, and events come under that. And it's for this committee to do it, not for our officers to dictate and decide alongside any events we put forward. I can see with the day-to-day running and stuff like this, the pricing and what we want to put in there, actual physically put in there. But as for events, that can be misinterpreted the way that's written. I think it's up to this committee to decide on that.
Yeah, that's very unclear, isn't
It
it?
is unclear, isn't it?
Does it refer to events or not?
Yeah, it doesn't actually state events, so we could argue that,
Doesn't do that.
we're putting the ideas forward at the minute, yeah.
What I've said is that every committee had its criteria to proceed with it. It's important to stick to it. Is you get every committee stick its nose into every other committee's business. Every committee needs its demarcation lines. So I agree with Robin on.
So, for example, Natalie, and no offence to her, knows nothing about putting on events, cultural events. That's not, she hasn't worked in that industry. This is the committee, with Self and myself who have a background in this. This is why it comes to this committee, and that's why we are on this committee, is because we are passionate about this, because it's sort of an offshoot from our day jobs as well.
Shall we discuss then events only for the hub here that we can make forward as a recommendation, as opposed to ideas to put forward to the officers?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay,
We can all put forward our ideas to the officers ourselves.
yeah, perfect, and that will come.
But then again, for a council building, a council premise, it's up to us to decide, make the decisions on that, not our officers.
So, moving forward, events then, ideas and suggestions for the hub going forward. Would you like to start us off?
Well, I mean, I wanted to put piano there, which I won't talk about now, the piano, but I mean, the idea behind that was it's the right sort of size to do intimate sort of cabaret evenings and sort of, say, an opera supper with some singer and piano or whatever and stuff like that. So I think it can be used as a nice little space for things like that. I'd like to see more sort of pop-up type events there, because it is a
What about the
community.
acoustics for the singer?
The acoustics for that would help the singer, to be honest. And once you've got bodies in there and you've got silence, I think it would be all right. I mean, when you're in there having a coffee and everybody's talking, it's a booming acoustic and it's rubbish like that. But when people are actually listening, I think it's quite a good acoustic. It is, after all, a community hub. The sports stuff happens on the pitches. That hub was something extra that was put in because they found out they had money to be able to put it in. So it needs to be used for the whole community, not just for sports.
So have you got something that you want to put forward with using the piano and the singer there?
Well, as I said, you could do a Christmas event there. And these things could be used also to help raise money towards the running of the hub. But I'm only going to prepared to drop my fee for doing these things if they're not charging ridiculous, overpriced fees in the first place for booze and food and coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's happened there now? I see, like with I've not been there since it's reopened, as in I've only been for a coffee. Has the fees, has the price changed?
£2.80 for a tea bag.
Right.
£2.80.
Expensive. Because I walked past last night, funny enough, yeah, my friend's sons play football, and there were lots of mums and dads there, but we walked past the hub and it was completely empty. But I'm assuming you can get a takeaway coffee.
You can.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you
But
can.
none of them-
And it is busy on certain nights, like the latter part of the week is generally busier.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that the structure of it needs looking at the pricing because that hub is out the way. People come out for a coffee and they do their shopping at the same time they come to the village. And it's not far to walk, you know, and stuff like that. If you're an elderly person, you've got to walk right across that field, possibly in the rain and stuff. I know it's not that far, but some people do struggle with mobility. So in order for that hub to work, I think the pricing needs to be something to attract people there, rather because they're not going to make a sort of out of the way stop just to go there for
Is it
coffee.
dog friendly?
Is it dog friendly?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because of the way the people who could attract are dog walkers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does allow them in.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does allow them in.
Lots of things like the coffee and cake we do with the Ostream. I mean, that's established too, I know that, but things like that could go there, I suppose. couldn't
Yeah, well, I think a coffee and cake, but aimed differently, like at mums with kids. Because like a different audience to go there, because then you've got the playground already.
they? Yeah.
So it's the perfect kind of,
Yeah.
you know, so it would be quite, I think that a coffee and cake type of situation or a tea and toast, I think might be nicer after the school run. Because if you've dropped your kids at school, the parents that it would appeal to are those very parents that have still got kids that are underage to go to school.
Yeah.
And they go to a play group traditionally. So if you offered a tea and toast there and a play in the park, and even if this was just in the warmer months or the, you know, all year round, I think that is something that could work really, really well. Because I can't see it being that busy at 9 o'clock in the morning, you know, till 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. And that would be quite nice. And then we bring the toys in, you know, for the kids to play and use then. And it's a slot where, you know, it will be sort of a bit of more of a messier play. But if you don't want that, you can avoid that time and you know that that's happening.
Yeah.
You know, the toast could be free with a cup of tea because toast is cheap, bread is cheap, you know what I mean? And then that gets people in because if you've got a little one and you give them a piece of toast, you know, that's when so I think that would work really well.
£2.80 for a tea bag. If you said £3 for tea and toast, that's a bit more reasonable then.
Or could we, under our budget, give the toast, give the bread and butter? Do you know what I mean? So we're providing the toast, they're not making any markup on that, but still, it is appealing, tea and toast, for, you know, toast is for free with any hot drink purchase between 9 and 11 in the morning, but also there's child's play too, you can bring in kind of, you know, bring some toys.
I think before I'm going to commit to us spending any budget on it from this committee, I want to see them look at their pricing up there and address that because I think it's a rip-off.
How much is a pint up there then?
£6. And you know, thinking as it is a sports place, you go to your local rugby club in the valleys, in Pontyclun, West Wales,
£3 a pint.
£3.50 per pint you pay. So we're not tied to a brewery. It's become exclusive rather than inclusive. And I think that's what needs to be looked at, is the inclusivity of it. You will have people staying there longer and spending more time there, even watching the Six Nations and stuff like that, if it's sensibly priced. By sensibly priced, I don't mean £3.50 a pint, but I mean sensibly priced because that is taking the neck.
Yeah. So we could do tea and toast and toys on a Tuesday.
We had a fun day there once, and they wanted to charge us a £5 for a microwave sausage and a tray that size with a couple of chips, you know, frozen chips cooked. Again, taking the mick.
Yeah.
That needs addressing.
And it's part the problem is you run a business, so
Yeah.
you know, school. So a lot of people think they can go to Mumbles, open up a business, charge extortionate prices because everyone's got money.
Yeah.
and they fail, because I've seen quite a few businesses fail
Mm.
because of the pricing.
Mm.
The ones that do well are the ones with decent pricing. Because while there are people with a lot of money in Mumbles, there's a lot of people that aren't as well. So you as a businessman, you could advise us as much as anyone else on the pricing.
Yeah, no, I sort of agree, yeah, it's like, the Vic or the Pilot.
Mm.
You can get like £4, £4.50.
Exactly.
Yeah, agreed, yeah, I agree that.
You know, if you're not getting the price, if you're not able to buy 2 pints with a £10 note, that's taking the mick.
Yeah.
Well, who would do that? Who does the pricing? Who?
Yeah, that's not us, is it? That's, yeah.
Yeah,
And this is one of the things where we can suggest things. I think these are the sort of suggestions which go to the officers rather than the full council. But is there any news, Ian, on that working group that's going to be set up?
What I'm aware of, no. It's Kerry, whoever, it might be Hannah, I suppose, if she's the newly appointed. And it'll be, but of course, Kerry's off now 2 weeks. So I can't see that progressing for 2 weeks.
Yeah, okay.
Paul will know.
Maybe an email needs to go to all councillors, ask them if they want to be on it, first of all. That's probably the best start.
On what now? On the.
working group.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So are we going to make a recommendation that there is a working group, even though a working group for events or a working group for support?
Well, I think the idea of the working group, as it says in those minutes, is to consider suggestions on the running and the structure and the pricing of the place.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think you need a working group for events because we have this committee,
Yeah.
which is the event committee, you know.
There's anything that's really important needs to be fed back straight away, and they need to deal with it straight away
We don't
rather than
need
waiting until
another-
next month.
Another layer of bureaucracy to put our events through.
No, but I think as well, the opening hours, is it 9 till 9 every day?
For the first month, I believe, yeah.
Right.
So that's a long,
It is.
long opening hours.
It is, I agree.
As well.
Yeah.
And it's not busy all the time, but I
No.
think in all fairness, it's so that they can establish when is busy,
Right.
so that they can work their timetable around that. I think that's, and to be consistent, the fact that they're open, so everyone has the chance to go there all the time.
Right, fair
I
enough.
think that's the, the opening of that. Can we on this then put forward, a suggestion, if anyone's got any suggestions about something? I do quite like that tea toast Tuesdays or tea toast Thursdays. Right?
Shall I email Paul and Kerry and ask them that we're looking for clarification around the working group and would
Well, I guess this event is something that maybe, does it go to recommendations for council, or does it go direct to the Underhill Hub? Can we suggest it? You know, what about, is the toast, supplying the toast going to be a problem for them?
Well, from what I've been told, and that being at Port Council, if you're going to make suggestions like tea and toast, I think that would go to the working group initially.
Right.
Well, that's my
And
interpretation.
that hasn't been set up yet, as far as we know, is
No,
it?
so we're going to sort out not sort out, but we're going to see clarification of a timescale, etc., in relation to the working group and the participants of it.
Yes, please, but that'll need to be set up soon, because if we've only got it potentially till the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, Christmas time, isn't it?
Mhm.
And you can't just book events last minute. You
And
know?
then for an email to go out, who wants to be a part of that working group?
Yeah.
Okay. Any more on that, or should we move on? Move on? Okay. The next one is the raft race update. I wasn't here for the raft race. I don't know if anyone went to. No, many speakers.
I will start. Yeah, I walked in as well, I know.
I was down there and it's cancelled for the last minute. Because
Yeah.
And, you know, look, I mean, Big Nige, special events, said to me, oh, pity it's over, and I'd cycled down. I said, why is it over? And he said, oh, it's a bit choppy, just at the edges, because of the new wall, you know, it's obviously altered how the waves lap against the wall. I felt there on duty because of raft race. I mean, it was like a mill pond out there, so it was a bit gutting. It was cancelled, you know.
Because it was a nice day,
It
wasn't
was
it?
a lovely day.
It was a really nice day. So yeah, I think the speakers, they were sounding good when they tested them out. They put them all up, but obviously never got full use out of them all, which is a shame. Now the Christmas lights. is the next item on the agenda. And so I believe there's been a few applications put in as the Diane for grants, but that's gone through finance, that will come to full council. So I don't know whether we can discuss these here. But we've got money in the budget for the Christmas lights and we need to approve that. So if you've had a little look at the documentation, I think it was almost, it was 3 in Blackpill, if you can see in Blackpill, a Christmas tree, West Cross, the one in Mumbles, the living tree at Pickett Mead, potentially new lights to go on the trees, motives on Mumbles Road. It all comes to about 19 grand.
Yeah.
We need to kind of approve it and agree that we want that to happen, and then that will be a recommendation to full council that hopefully that will get approved so that they can come and put them up in November and do
Yeah.
that. So just really seeking approval that we all agree.
Yeah.
That's happened. Okay, thank you, Tim. Yeah, thank you.
Sorry, Chair, is that 19,000 or to be whatever's
Yeah, it's
19,000?
it's around about 19 grand, I think, between 19 and 20. Then the Mumbles Fest 2026, we agreed that it was fixed for 6th of June, first weekend. Is that to go to the full council? And we've just got to, what did you say earlier? We've got to make sure that that is. I have already emailed David Price, dear,
Right.
about that date. And there might be some following up to do then, is it? Because Claire was supposed to.
If I can refer to the minute, it's the action, it's I was going to contact Swansea Council to check the availability of the castle grounds and whether any other events are planned. Shall I check? Would like to email?
Well, I might copy Kerry in and I'll email you. Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll do that before I leave here today. And again, then the newsletter update. Because you all know that Claire has left, yeah, so obviously the newsletter, I don't know. I don't mind putting content together for that, but I know Dan's going to email Kerry about that. Okay, thanks. And see if we can make that happen by November. And then the Mumbles Folk and Blues Festival update, Beer Festival Oktoberfest. Is it not happening now?
Ah, right. It's not Oktoberfest, it's not Oktoberfest, it's Folk and Blues Festival, right.
Well, let's change the
Yeah. Right. Initially, as you know, lots of enthusiasm, brilliant idea, even the ones that weren't taking part. I've gone around all the premises so many times, with so many people. Trouble is, very often it's been a different person each time. Then sort of a couple of weeks ago, before I went away, people said, well, what bands do we book? And some of these are places that book bands. Right, so I've got away, a little choice of we've got to spawn it down because there's nobody seem interested. However, the vicar booked some bands, and the Harry's Bar and Waterloo Stores are still interested, but spoken to them, they said, well, we'll drop it this year, and then we can really get it going next year. And the idea is the Vic, there are 2 bands booked, another one on standby. The one that's on standby has been cancelled.
Oh.
Because as I spoke to him, he said, with 1 band, you'll make money still. 2 bands, you'll lose. So I'll be giving some money from my grant to cover 1 band.
What, keeping the 2?
Keeping the 2.
Yeah.
And we advertise it as a taster of the folk and blues when you do it next year.
So it'll just be the 1 bar
Yeah.
doing it.
I just do create interest and get lots of feedback just saying, well, that was crap because there's only 1. Why can we get more? Great, they create interest. Now, I sent you a photograph yesterday. Is it okay?
The only thing is though, with it, can we still do that? Can we call it a festival? If we just
Well,
do 1 bar?
No, it's not. It's just a taster session for the festival to come. We're going to put it on our website and just put it on social media, so there's no cost to it as such. And just a general interest.
Just to be clear that we're not being biased towards one particular bar, all bars have had an equal opportunity to take part and be
Yes.
present in this
Yes.
whole event, and they've basically not made it happen.
Yeah,
Okay,
what I'm gonna do.
so I don't want people saying we're just supporting one
No,
particular
no,
bar.
I'm aware of that. I've got some details of some bands anyway. Now, Peter from the Vic, he books bands on a regular basis. So with him, I'm gonna compile a list of them for the next month or so. And then probably around time and go around all premises again. You said you're interested. But you're probably booking. This is
I don't see why they had a problem in booking them.
well, and they
They've
said
got
we don't want
bars,
to book.
bands all the time.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I think
Of course.
Folk reviews is such a wide spectrum, but people think, oh, it's a narrow spectrum, it's not, it's a really wide spectrum, isn't it? Basically, if you're singing and playing guitar, it's called folk singing.
So you're gonna come up with a list to help them out, so they've got
Yes,
some.
I'm not going to book them because there's too many politics with booking bands with the council. I'm just going to compile a list and just say, we can start off with that, we can book wherever you want. That's going to be a list to start off with. And take it from there, because it was the Oyster Lounge, I think it was. Because when I put the emails out, they were the only bar that replied. And they said, well, unfortunately, we won't be taking part. Give some reasons, saying this one customers is not really their thing, so fair enough. But that's why I spoke to Harry. He said, oh, you did get the email. I thought, it was blocking him, why didn't you reply? Well, he was smiling at the time.
So we're gonna call it like the Mumbles Oaken Blues Taster Session. And then if it's a success, off the back of that success,
Yes,
next year will be bigger.
yeah. There's generally a lot of interest, I think. As amazed, like even bars that said, well, we won't take part because we didn't do music. But why not? Fantastic. And people come up with other ideas, like in the daytime to start it off. Buskers on the seafront, that'd be some bit of money. That'd be great. I think this year, start off with one bar. Next year, if you got half a dozen, and take it from there, year by year. As I was told by someone, the Elvis Festival, not the International Elvis Festival in Glasgow, that started off with a conversation in a pub like we had and a few other people, and started off with one bar and went from there. So rather than just say, oh, nobody's interested, people are interested, they just need a bit of oomph somewhere along the line. It's up to me to do that.
Yeah. And the date is?
Still the 4th of October.
Okay.
And the first Saturday in October next year is the 3rd of October. Again, it is after this last knockings of the summer in September and before the autumn internationals. We never know what date they're going to be anyway until close to the day. But it's another opportunity for places to make money in Mumbles.
And are people buying tickets beforehand, or is it free to just turn up?
Free turn up, and you buy beer on premises.
Okay. And when is that going on social media and on online posters? They've been done, have they?
Kerry said she's going to sort that out, and I was going to send a photograph of the Vic too.
So that's it's the 24th of September today.
Yeah, no,
So that needs to be out now.
yeah.
Okay.
Been away for 3 weeks now.
And lost Claire.
Okay.
Yeah.
So has a
Everything was in hand with Claire,
It was.
and
So has a poster been made for that already?
we're not on a poster because that costs money, which can be social media.
Well, I mean, we can knock one up on Canva, we can do that, but it's whether it's got to meet the brand guidelines of going through the SA.
So, well, do they do it for us now?
Well, we are still paying them, so arguably, do you have a contact with them, Diane?
Or Claire?
Unfortunately, there's no anything.
Is it worth us after this session, after this meeting? I don't mind phoning them if we've got a number. I could quickly phone them and see if we give them the details, if they can knock up a poster for us.
And where will we put the poster then?
Well, on our website, on our social media,
Yeah.
and then stick one up in. I mean, I don't know. Other bars probably will be too.
I have asked Kerry yesterday or the day before for Mike's details, so because it's not just out like it's the key.
Yeah, of course, loads of stuff.
Just so I can do something.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's a very awkward situation, what with everything else going on. We have no Rob either. There's a lot going on at the minute.
Yeah.
A lot.
It's criticising you, Diane.
No, I'm just joking. I'm just trying to juggle.
I know, because we all look at Diana, she think, there's another thing that needs doing.
One day criticise Diane, she's hit me from behind.
Would we be able to give or have a vote to give emergency powers to you to be able to ring SA1 as the chair of this committee?
I mean, I do
Do that anyway.
Right. Do it.
Get the job done.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't, it's, you know, is it called the Doghouse? And I did the old Tikuru.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You've got a big list of bands coming up there in the window.
Well, when they were renting it,
Yeah.
I spoke to them over it. I said, look, I asked about things. I said, are you do bands or not do bands? Then I went past it the other night and
Big
then
list in the window.
shame. This a while, you've
Yeah.
spoken to people who've said to you that they are interested and that they are going to book bands. Last minute, they tell you that they're not all doing it. I think it's actually quite disappointing in a way because
yeah,
And then they come to us expecting support for the businesses and how can we get more?
it's frustrating.
because, you know, we're not a PR agency. We're trying to help the businesses, you know, locally. And
I think Claire Sandra was during lockdown, she was trying to do something promoting businesses locally. All they had to do was apply certain details. Wouldn't cost any money.
yeah,
Very few came back.
Yeah.
It does some things up, but if I've got that list of bands, I think that could make a difference. I've never done anything like this before, so I've learned. Steep learning curve.
yeah, learning curve, absolutely. And you're still making that happen, but we just need to get those posters out before this weekend. Ideally. Okay, cool. Cheese and wine event. That was talked about a while ago as an idea. Can't see it coming to fruition anytime soon for the moment. So Ian's on about either closing it as an action or do we park it on like a separate list of things that we want to do when we've got the money and when?
Yeah, again, I mean, that was Claire, isn't it? It makes you realise how much we have relied on her with this committee and the work she does in the background for this committee. So it's a very sad loss from my point of view.
Can I suggest, first of all, is it a good idea?
Yeah.
I think we all agree, yes, it is. It's a good idea. Like the folk blues, can't do it now, but something we can park for the time being and drive away with it again in the future. I suppose just knock it on the head. It's a good idea, something for the future. So the work that's been done so far wouldn't be wasted.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely.
Unless you talk to Laura because of her connections with Cheers.
I think if we do it, we will do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I think from the whole of the committee, just to put on record that, you know, we're sorry to see Claire go. For all the work that she did for MCC and for the wider community. Yeah, anything else?
No.
All good? Okay, thank you. The session is now closed. You can look all day. Thank you. Thank you. Is it?
Thank you, Tim.
Oh, I think that's a chat with a cup of coffee. Tim, thank you for joining online. We missed you here.
We miss you, Tim.
I'll be.
You're not being here, Tim.